And I knocked on the door and I said, excuse me, like, what time is this dog and pony show gonna get started? And the lady said, why, are you in a hurry? I said, ma'am, I am. I gotta get my kids to Chuck E. Cheese by 7 o'clock. The last time I got there late, they jumped on the mouse, the head came off, the man ran in the back and never came back out. So yeah, I gotta go.
Happy Halloween. You scared me, Yvie. You look like a ghost.
That's so rude. I was going for Marilyn Monroe.
I mean, I see it if she's been dead for the past 50 years.
No, honestly, I feel like this is like the best Halloween costume I've ever had, because what usually happens is I try and make something and it all falls apart. And if you just like start at the base...
Yeah. And to be honest, it's literally, before I got Ghost, because at first I didn't get Ghost, I thought you were referencing an actual like character, and I was just trying to figure out like, well, what is it giving?
What was I giving?
I'm like, it's giving like Interview with a Vampire, but they turned Mother Teresa and they made her the vampire, and now she's living forever and ever.
Ryan, I feel like it's kind of, I just realized it's like Halloween and you are so unfucking dressed up.
I know. I didn't even like, well, I feel like we talked about this on the last couple episodes, that this is like my version of dressing up and I'm not even really dressed up.
So what you're saying is you don't love me.
And you were supposed to be putting me into drag.
Okay, I'm doing that. I just haven't gotten to the future yet. It's really hard when you're a living embodiment of the past, okay?
I know. Like, I can't, like, when are they going to invent time travel so you can finally do this? Like, what's happening? But how's life been? I know you've probably been doing a ton of, like, spooky things. Have you been going to, like, Halloween parties? Have you done Halloween events yet? Like, what's been given?
No, honestly, I've been sick. I've been sick for like a week now. It's so much. I'm just blowing these little paper ghosts everywhere, making lots of friends for myself.
Oh,
and, it's like it's not the tea. But in between that, I've been getting a Halloween gig and going and spreading love and cheer from a safe distance underneath a mask and like a ghost hood. How's you have beens?
I will say, because we are recording this before Halloween, I will say by the time this drops, I would have just gone to a Halloween party.
Y'all better hold him to this.
I would have just gone to a Halloween party and I would have technically dressed up, because this Halloween party that I'm going to, apparently they go big or go home. And so I have figured something out and have totally like not big, but I have done my version of Halloween. So yeah, this is me talking to future Ryan. Get your shit together and pull it off.
Have you bought your stuff for it yet?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm so like,
my God.
I have T-minus like 10 days.
Not you making an ultimatum live for the future.
I am. This is how you hold yourself accountable in modern times. It's like a time capsule. Have a podcast and then, of course, like record a video to future yourself.
Okay, dear Yvie, go ahead. Pee in a bottle. Nobody backstage will notice. I know you really need to.
Now, Yvie, don't you dare pee in. Future Yvie, if you pee in that damn bottle.
She already did. It's too late.
Oh, oh my God.
No, I have to say, though, like, I know it's Halloween, and I feel like we had to have a big, ooky, spooky, scary-ass episode.
Yes, sort of, kind of.
But instead, we just got the dopest bitch ever. I'm so excited for today's guest. Do you want to introduce her, Ryan?
I am so excited. She's just this person called Niecy Nash Betts. You may have never heard of her. Like, if you've never fucking heard of her, that means you've been living in a cage, and you need some couth. But Niecy Nash Betts, like Emmy winner, Hollywood powerhouse, Ryan Murphy darling, is joining us on this show. And honestly, she is kind of here's been the eternal argument. Is she technically a scream queen? We ask her, we find out. Stick around, because Niecy Nash is about to be everything.
Ooh. will see you right back soon and ghost things.
HighKey.
Okay, Yvie, I am so excited about our guest today. I mean, honestly, it's been Halloween week. We've been celebrating as, of course we do. It's very high-key slay. But I guess we really wanted to bring in someone who is like a legend, a real scream queen. And it's kind of crazy because you've seen her everywhere from Reno 911, Claws, Dahmer, and now the new Ryan Murphy show, All's Fair, with, some small names, Glenn Close, Sarah Paulson, and Kim Kardashian, of course.
Boo.
So I'm excited. Let's bring in Niecy Nash. Hello, Niecy.
Hello.
Oh my God, Niecy, I haven't seen you since you were We Hope Pride. It was a couple years ago. I'm host of We Hope Pride, and you were being honored. And Jessica performed there for the first time.
Yes.
And it was such a moment being connected with you in that space. And really just, they always say, don't ever meet your heroes. But I got to say, Niecy Nash is not the girl they're talking about.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I mean, let's celebrate though. I feel like you got a lot going on right now. You Out 100 Icon of the Year. Insane.
I know.
How you feel about that?
Listen, I my head was about to pop off. Because honestly, you don't do the things that you do for people to say, we want to honor you. You just live your life in such a way.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's the beauty of it, loving out loud, living out loud, and being unapologetic about who I love and how I love. And I just love I was an ally, but now I'm a card-carrying member, and I love it here.
Yeah, I heard you getting some good benefits, too. You got the benefits. I'm like, what? I need that package.
Honestly, I'm very curious for you. How do you feel the public support was when, you got your card stamped?
Well, that's a good question, because at first, I think people thought it was fake. And they were like, this can't be real. This is a joke. This is a movie. Because I wasn't someone who you saw out to dinner dating, because I got married in COVID.
Mm-hmm. You
So
sure did.
the world was shut down. So all I did was I had a very small wedding in my backyard, 24 people, and I posted a picture. So when I posted the picture, it was the first time anyone had ever seen me in a same-sex relationship. So people were like, this is fake. This is not real. I know she lying.
Yeah.
Or it's a movie. It's a part. It's a bit.
I mean, for sure. I remember that dropping, and I thought the same thing. I was like, wait, is this like the actual ending of Claws that I really need in my life? Like, what's happening here?
The part of that I was curious about, I was like, no, this can't be real. Is 24 people? How did you get it down that small?
Well, because it was COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't have I didn't want to be
irresponsible
and, try to throw a big wedding and people start dropping like flies.
Oh, I was going to say that to all the great-grand cousins and nieces that were pressuring me.
So sad, too bad. We had to knock it down to just the minimum, and I had drive-up COVID testing in the front.
Yeah.
Then you got your custom mask, and you came in the back.
And here's the thing. So it's 5 years from that. Y'all just celebrated your anniversary, you and Jessica?
Yes, but everybody did come to my anniversary party now.
Oh, see, and that's what I was thinking. You had a larger celebration after like the smaller wedding, and like 5 years, you reflect over so much. And I wonder, is there something that you've been reflecting about your actual wedding day that you just like remember and you cherish so much? Like, what do you remember from that moment? Because it was, I gotta say, it was a Beyonce level self-titled when she made the world stop, when she released her album. That was the sort of reaction that people had when you let the world in on this beautiful relationship.
Well, two things come to mind. One is how I found my dress.
Tell us.
Well, Siri helped me find it.
What? Whoa,
Because
whoa.
I was 2 weeks from my wedding. And I had gotten a dress, and it arrived and it didn't fit me well and none of the things. And I just started crying. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have a dress. And I know that for weddings, you got to plan out and it's got to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, sorry. And she said, mm-hmm. And I said, where can I get a dress? And she told me a bridal shop that was open called Lily's Bridals. I cried all the way there. I got there. I was still crying. And the lady said, I'll be with you. I had a mask on. She said, just 1 minute. I picked up a dress and I'm like, I'll try this on. Threw it in the dressing room, went in there and tried it on and came out. And another girl came over and touched my arm and she said, I know who you are. And I thought she was going to say, I know you from Reno 911. I know you from, TV. I know you from whatever. And in my mind, my inner monologue was, bitch, I don't care where you think you know me from. I'm sitting up here crying because I don't have a dress.
Stress it out. Yeah,
so real.
And she touched my arm and didn't even call me by my name. She said, you're Michael Inslee's sister. I went to high school with your brother and I was there the day he got murdered on campus. He was so kind and so loving. And I cried all over the front of the dress and I said, I'll take it.
Wait, really? How serendipitous? I mean, like, that doesn't happen every single day.
I don't even know how it happened, but that is what happened. And I was like, I'll take it. And when I opened these two double doors right here in front of me to come out in the dress, the look on Jessica's face, Shaka Khan said, ain't nobody. And the doors flung open.
Yeah.
And I stepped out that door. And the way Jessica looked at me in that dress, she said, I have never seen you look more beautiful. And she still has that picture on her side of the nightstand and all of the things. And I push my bouquet forward. And I think of that often. And so much so that for our 5-year wedding anniversary, I'm telling you, I don't know how lightning struck twice. I went back to Lily's Bridal and the first dress I picked up, because I wanted a short dress. She said, we don't have any short dresses. And I picked up
I'm trying to get body on my wedding.
I picked up a dress and she was like, now that's cute. We could cut the bottom. And then she called the designer and he said, let me come over there and help you out. He came to the bridal shop, my custom dress, and it was just, I could not even believe. Oh, and then, let me tell you something else. The day of the dress, the day of the party, I'm in the dress, I'm ready, hair beat, face beat. And I said, oh, this décolleté, it need a little something.
It need a little
So I picked up some bronzer and the pump was stuck. Boom. All over the dress.
Yeah.
No.
Now I'm crying again. And my folks from the bridal shop, the designer who made the dress, Christopher and Lisa from Lily Bridals, rushed over. I called. I said, y'all, I messed this dress up. They said, send us a picture. We on the way.
Oh.
And when you look at my phone, I don't know what they did, but when they picked up the dress, they walked over to the sink. The lady said, look away. Because it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Black magic. Yeah. They did black magic to get that white dress white again.
And so they fixed it, and my party was beautiful, and yeah.
Oh,
so I'm definitely
so
a girl who has had dress challenges, but they always work out.
Well, I think it's so beautiful, though. Like, it really explains why it feels like everything with you and Jessica just is like divine, because to have this moment, want to plan a wedding in 2020 in the height of that pandemic, were y'all even questioning doing it, or were you just kind of like, why not? We are at this crossroads in life where I'm just going to do what I want. Why not? If I want to marry you, I'm going to marry you.
I have never questioned celebrating love.
Yeah.
Ever. And so, yes, and I don't care who showed up. I was going to be there. We got Coleman Domingo to be our officiant. He's my dear friend. And He was our officiant. He and I are still having a war of words about his outfit choice that he married us in. But that we'll say that for another day.
Please, it was. I mean, the yellow is pretty sickening, though. I thought it looked beautiful against you all.
Yeah, but
you said don't upstage me.
See, I was gonna say that's the danger of inviting a flashy faggot to your wedding. I'm banned from all of my friends' weddings, okay? Because they know I'll show up in this.
Because you gonna show up doing too much. No, but we had such a beautiful time, and we still celebrate any and everything.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I just that is just so scary having to do that. But y'all really pulled that stuff off. But I think what's really beautiful too, and I would love to talk even more about the ways that one thing about you, if we see you out, Jessica will be right there with you. And there's also a love of appreciate. Like, you are such a beautiful amplifier to even her work. Like, you all just balance each other out, right? Like, you let her shine. And was that something that was really important for you in this stage of really locking in with someone, knowing that they will support you when you support them and you can equally do the same?
Well, in our early conversations, whether it's work or, just day-to-day life, we talked early on and I said, reciprocity is the order of the day. I want it always, in all ways, and she was like, I wouldn't have it any other way. So the fact that we are there for each other, it's just a given. And I mean, I've been in situations where you've been with people and you have to play small.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And you can't, dial it down.
Yeah.
What Cardi B say, don't do too much.
Period.
Don't do too much. And, in this marriage, I love being here in this partnership because, we wake up every morning and somebody is putting a battery in somebody's bag. Remember who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I love it like that. Let me tell you something. I've been in spaces and places with my whole pedigree and my whole self where I'm like, no, I got the amp. I'll carry this. Let me wrap the cord around my arm. What else you need?
Yeah.
Because true love is to be of service.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about your who, it's about what you do. Where is the exchange and reciprocity and when you're there for me and I'm there for you and all the things?
Absolutely.
So that's baked in strong.
You know what's interesting is I feel like that's something that you've been able to bring to a lot of your different like character work throughout the years, and no matter how diversely different they are. Like, I'm such a Claus girly, and your performance was very nuanced. Which is funny because, like, that was coming off of, at least in my mind, me growing up, seeing you on Reno 911, being like, oh, this bitch is wild.
Can I say, before I knew what a mockumentary was, I was young when Reno 911 came out. I thought that shit was real. I thought y'all were real police officers, and I thought you were most definitely telling folks, because it was a mockumentary based off of like the show Cops. And so I literally thought at one point, being a young kid watching this show, being like, oh my God, this Black police officer just told this girl about her kitchen and her edges and how those continents don't meet. I was like, oh, this is legendary. And then, of course, I think it just speaks to the work that you all were doing at that time, because what a brilliant show. Like, what a brilliant show to jump out
First of all, thank you. Second of all, I had never heard of a sketch comedy, like improv comedy troops, and I never heard of Groundlings, Second City. I was over there on 120th and Vermont, minding my Black business, okay? And then when they called and said, can you audition for this show? I just lied and was like, yes, I know exactly how to do all of that. I hung up that phone and I called my friend Big George and I'm like, what the hell is sketch? What do I got to do? And I didn't know enough to be nervous or be afraid. I was just 100% myself. And I never forget when I went to the first one, it was taking such a long time. And I knocked on the door and I said, excuse me, like, what time is this dog and pony show gonna get started? And the lady said, why, are you in a hurry? I said, ma'am, I am. I gotta get my kids to Chuck E. Cheese by 7 o'clock. The last time I got there late, they jumped on the mouse, the head came off, the man ran in the back and never came back out. So yeah, I gotta go.
And then they were like,
who?
wait, why did we have that on camera?
Who is this little girl?
With all this mouth.
And so they let me come in and audition. And then when I came back, I got a call back. I said, I begged my mama to watch my kids. Mama, please, because I just got to be focused.
Yeah.
I go to the call back. And as soon as I walked in, I said, hey, how's everybody doing? They said, what happened at Chuck E. Cheese? I said, what? Now I do a high five on Chuck E. Cheese. And you know what I mean? And I don't know if in that moment I was the most talented girl that came in there, but I do know that I was very comfortable in my skin.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to be anybody else. And I did not, I didn't even step on myself to suppress like how I really talk, how I really move, how I really,
there was
how
no
I really
code
show
switching.
up.
Yeah.
No, I was just like, what's good?
Do you miss comedy? Like, do you miss... you are such a... when you're Emmy in a dramatic role, you have done so many incredible dramatic performances, but I wonder, do you miss being in comedy? Like, is that a pivot you want to continue? Because I feel like people pigeonhole you. Once you start doing a dramatic...
What happened was I got stuck in doing sitcoms and they were like, no, we know what you do. And I was like, I'm telling y'all I can do something else. And then it took me so long to get them to see that I could do something else. The first thing that I did was a show on HBO called Getting On.
Yep.
I got 2 Emmy nominations from that show. And then all of a sudden, people forgot I was funny. I got, asked to play all of these dramatic roles. And so now I'm back on this. Now I'm on this side of the line, trying to figure out how to get back on that side of the line.
Yeah.
Because I love the balance. I love to be able to do both. And mind you, when I was filming Dahmer, which I won the Emmy for, I was also filming the Reno 911 movie, Hunt for QAnon, at the same time. Take the booty off, take the baby hair off, go put on my glasses and be Glenda Cleveland. Take off my glasses, put the booty back on, drive back across town. So I was able to film them at the same time.
Wow. Yeah.
Was that a trip? Like, was that like more fulfilling for you to get to express yourself in these dramatically different ways, or was it like sometimes like was it ever difficult to be like, oh shit, the booty's on, but I'm still not here?
No, because you know why? Because you know why? I'm not a method actor. I take it off. When I take it off, it's off. So I never felt like, oh, I have to work to come up out of this character to be able to get into this one. I was like, oh, I feel like laughing. Hey, y'all, just come into the next bit and, and get on up out of there. So I enjoy both equally, but I am dying to do something funny. Mm-hmm.
And what does that look like for you? Because one thing that I know about you is you have such a wonderful community around you, like your network, right? Like you and Ryan Murphy seem to just understand and get each other on levels where y'all been working with each other since I think I read 1998 when he cast you in like a WB project.
It was called Popular 1,000 years ago.
And I'm like that to know that your network and your relationship, stayed so strong with each other. Talk to us a little bit about that, right? Because I'm assuming when you find someone who just gets you, those are the people that you want to work with the rest of your career.
Well, you know what? It's not only that, but I love Ryan's creativity. Like, I'm like, how does your mind work? How did you think of this? Where did you get this from? So I love him. You know what I mean? I get to see a different side of him. He's very stoic when he's out. Now that's somebody who don't do too much. But I get to see him beyond the veil. And I just enjoy him as a person. And he will always and forever, Ryan Murphy and Ava DuVernay will forever have me at hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
That's beautiful.
That's
Because
so
I said yes to
strong.
Dahmer and didn't even know what it was. He just called and was like, hey, I've got this thing I want you to do. And I was like, okay. And then he sent it and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I said okay.
Way to bury the lead. Like, give me a heads up, why don't you?
But now there's a trust, I'm assuming, between you two, where it's like, if he gonna knock on your door or call you, it's gonna be something that's meaty and that you are going to automatically want to do.
For sure.
That's beautiful.
And I have been having such a good time with the ladies on Allsware. So, very true.
Now, is that going to be a little fun? I feel like and that shows particularly, it's coming off as a drama, but I feel like you're going to be bringing some of the comedy chops to it, though, right?
It's a drama, but it also has a little camp. It's a workplace, but you get to follow all of the girls home.
Yeah.
But we all play divorce attorneys at a very high power firm that Kim Kardashian's character, Allura Grant, is the head of.
I mean, I feel like that is drama and comedy in and of itself. Like, legit, that's just amazing for how beautiful this is, recognizing who we all are outside of our characters.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious, though, because I feel like I've had a lot of conversations with Ryan this year talking about how horror is blending a lot as a genre with, like, comedy and even, like romantic movies. Would you ever, like, consider stepping in something that is a comedically sharpened, like, horror role? They're like, yeah, you get to be a scream queen, but you also, like, I don't know, like, have extra giant tits and they're green. I don't know. This just sounded like a Marvel movie.
Wait a minute. What's the name of that cartoon I did that for?
Actually, that is a character that I've played.
Yeah, Keke Palmer was in it.
Human Resources?
Boom.
There, yes.
I don't know why my mind wasn't going there. I legit thought it was like
literally, as soon as you said, I was like, "Yep, human resources."
and I shot rockets out of the girls. Sure did. I'm up for pretty much anything, and and anything I have never done always excites me. I've never played a villain. I'm looking forward to doing that. At some point. It's just some things where you say, oh, I have never done this, I've never done that. And if it's on a never done list, I'm always like, sign me up.
HighKey. So do you consider yourself to be an actual scream queen? I know we've called you that here, and I was kind of when we were talking about having you on, I was like, yes, she's a scream queen, but it's not like in like the traditional 90s sense.
And I was like, Ryan, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? She's a scream queen.
Like, she's not the one being chased by slasher and like screaming, right? She's doing more like dramatic, also true crime work that is like actually telling stories of real situations that have happened. And I knew I had to ask. I was like, well, do you consider yourself to be a scream queen besides being in the hit show Scream Queens?
I don't know if I would consider myself to be a scream queen. I played a lot more cops, detectives, officers, than anything.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of that. You know what I mean? I played a lot of roles where I get to bring the handcuffs home.
I know that's right.
Okay, but that's because people already have a cop fantasy, and no T, you're too pretty to be a scream queen. Like, scream queens have to have weird faces, like you're too symmetrical. Your eyes aren't like very close together, or very like crazy far apart,
I'm gonna say thank you.
Just take that as the beautiful compliment. But I think it's really, really great to just see your career and the ways that it's been able to like ebb and flow. And I know you do a lot of personal curating in what you decide to do and what you want to do. Talk to us a little bit about that. Like, have you felt more of the freedom to say yes to things versus saying no to things that you don't necessarily feel like, or do you still feel like you just want to keep grabbing hold to all the things while you're in this moment.
What's your
life.
favorite thing to say no to?
Well, I'll tell you, it's this here. When you first get in the business, you say yes to damn near everything. Cause you're trying to get on. You gotta feed your family. You gotta pay rent. You gotta buy ramen noodles or whatever the case is, right? So you're like, oh yes, I'll play clerk number 3. And all of these things.
Yeah.
And then you move in a space where you start to be more selective. If you've worked long enough, and the Most High aligns it all in your favor, that's when you can afford to say no. Right? You can say no because it's going to cost me my time, my peace, my energy. You could say no because I just didn't respond to the material. You know what I mean? It's a number of reasons. But Hollywood is not used to your no, though, because everybody is so thirsty and so hungry. I won't even say thirsty. I'll say hungry. To get their careers going. It's just yes to everything.
Yeah.
And I remember very, very early on in my career, before I could afford to, I actually said no to something. And my agents and everybody was up in the arms about it. Like, why wouldn't you do this thing? And it was this girl, not because she was a prostitute, but she was getting beat up by her pimp. And it was, kind of one of them things. You got daddy money?
Yeah.
No, daddy don't got the money. All of this and that. The point was, where I was in that space in my life, my children were little, and I didn't want to walk around in the energy all day of being beat up and thrown across the concrete for 16 hours. I was just like, no. I just don't want to do it.
Like, protect your energy, first of all.
Just from an energy standpoint, not the role or anything like that. But it was just the energy that I was going to be screamed at and cussed out for 16 hours. And I was like, no.
And you're like, and it's not even a porno. Boo.
No, it was not even a porno.
No, yeah, it's that's so important, right? Because I just remember, like, I've seen you quote being like, I am the blueprint, right? Like, I am the person that is in charge. And that feels like that's always been a part of your work, which is not necessarily a thing. People think, I mean, even when you won your Emmy, let's just start there. When you won your Emmy and you thanked yourself, it was it went everywhere. I mean, it was one of the most viral moments from the Emmys that year. And it was like, well, are people shocked that you put yourself first and you like are thanking yourself for this work that you've been able to accomplish?
Because as soon as I made it in the back, they said, why did you say that?
Yeah.
As soon as I made it to the back, to the press line, they said, why did you thank yourself? And I said, because I'm the only one who knows what all of this cost me. I know how many nights I cried. I know how many nights I had to spend away from my children. I know what it was like to crawl across the floor. And I know what it's like to not have people look at you and not see you the way you see yourself. So when I was backstage, I said, that's why it's not called mama esteem and them esteem and us esteem. It's called self-esteem, because don't nobody got to believe it but you. So yes, thank me.
Yeah.
Get into it, girl, because you sometimes you have to encourage your own self. And so I was like, yeah, thank me.
Is that something that comes with like life
being
and
a bad
wisdom?
bitch? Oh.
Because is that something you're born with? I'm like, because I love hearing this, and I always feel like when people talk about it, especially like accomplished folks, I always wonder, like, that's not something immediately that you find out, right? Like, that's something that comes with time and like experience.
I feel like for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but I knew as a child, that I was different. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I knew it. I knew it very, very early on. And even before I started auditioning, when I said I wanted to be an actor at 5 years old, it was people in my family that was like, girl, she ain't gonna do nothing. She's so shy. And I had this one aunt that used to say all the time, my auntie Shirley used to say, that girl gonna be something.
Yeah.
I said, honey, you see it. Now you see the vision. And I felt like I always knew. When I was 7, I saw Ed Asner out on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I was like, I don't know you, but I know you be on TV, and I just want you to know that I'm gonna be famous one day too, and I'm gonna have a star right here on this ground. And he was like, yeah, kid, scram. And I was like, my name is Niecy, remember my name. And when I got my star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I sent a letter and asked if he could come. He sent me a letter back and said, I'm so grateful you didn't let a crotchety old man step on your dream. And of course, I know your name. And then he said, I'm unable to come. And I said, okay, well, thank you for the letter. The day before, I got a call from his team and said he'll be there.
Really?
Ed Asner came to my star. I couldn't even look over where he was sitting because I was going to cry my fake eyelashes off. I was like, I can't look at the man. I got to wait till it's over with. So I knew early. And when I used to go to castings and they would be like, oh, sorry, we're going to go another way. I said, I feel bad for y'all.
Girl.
I'm really the one you should have picked.
Yeah.
I would say that and that was it wasn't an act. It was honestly how I felt. And then one time I was in the casting and the people gonna lean their heads together and say, her face is kind of cute. You think she could lose weight? I said, I can hear you. I said, no, I can't lose weight, bitch. I'm pregnant. I'm gonna get bigger than
because
this.
how dare they actually? Like, how dare you discuss my body like this? But okay.
I was pregnant. And I was
my goodness.
But not really showing a lot. But I was like, I'm going to get even fatter. So what we going to do?
Like, what's the problem? Yeah. Yeah.
It got real dark in my head.
Yeah.
That part. And I remember one time I went to this audition, it was way far out. I got out there before I even picked up the script. I said, let me tell y'all something. Y'all should have told people this was this far. I done drove all the way out here. You should have told me I needed a sack lunch. You should have told me I was going to need to use the bathroom 2-3 times before I got out here. I said, so now I don't know if y'all giving me this role, but y'all going to hire me to do something. Y'all need somebody to file papers. What we doing? Because I'm not leaving with nothing.
And I know that all stems from, because what I know about you for sure also is there is such a, you've always led with very, your faith. And that also leads you in a lot of way. And I wondered, especially with you balancing your faith and even your queer identity, if that's the language that you use, how have you been able to navigate both your faith and your belief systems while also knowing it's complicated when it comes to queer folks? Did you have to unlearn things about yourself and what you've been taught? What did that journey look like for you when it came to your faith?
Well, the one thing I will say about that is that I was raised in church.
Same. I'm a Kojic girl.
And you learn certain things and you learn how they feel about it. You learn what they like, what they don't like, and they're going to tell you what's to it and what's going on, and they're going to find a scripture to justify it.
Yeah.
The best advice I was ever given is that you got to know the Most High for yourself. Right? So that's outside of all the other noise. And you also have to then start, if you're going to study, you can't just stop at the one book because you got to figure out how the stuff got in the book. And when you realize that the same people who gave you Christianity also handed you slavery on the silver platter, you said, now wait a minute. This can't be what they
pull out that magnifying
glass. You got to say, whoa.
You just got into my
What year was homosexuality
favorite.
actually put into the Bible? Now wait a minute.
Yeah.
And you do a further dive and then you find out in some communities that people who had a dual sexuality were highly regarded as the highest form of being in that village, in that town, in that community, and you say, at the basis of this, if it's love, then just do that. If that's the bottom line, because everybody agrees, it don't matter what religion it is, everybody agrees the bottom line to it is love. So when you start to judge and say, but I'm going to heaven and you not, or you right and I'm wrong, you miss the love part.
Yes.
So I just decided to live in the love part and let the chips fall where they may.
Okay, I have
You
a
know what I
question
mean?
for you. Could you or would you like to come to my next Thanksgiving dinner with my family? Because I need somebody else on my team. It's just me out here spitting all those facts, being like, no. Your Bible also says love. Also, it
It's
says
so
you
real.
can't wear that cashmere and that linen.
You know, I'll be there. I'll pull up now. I do make a mean pot of greens. Because, you know, you don't go to nobody's house empty-handed.
Well, I will bring, I'll bring something, but it's probably not anything that I cooked. It's probably something I picked up. I'm normally on pie duty. They like, go pick up these pies. No, but I think that is really beautiful, and I appreciate you for talking about that, right? Because it is something, especially in this time, where I could imagine, this world of queerness is, honey, it is something else once you really start finding community and you start to understand the intra kind of like community conversations that are happening. And I think, I wonder, have you learned anything new about yourself and during this time in your life that has really stuck with you?
You're so kind. He's trying to ask, have you gotten gayer?
Well,
yes.
You know, I don't know if gotten gayer is the term that applies. Although I'm the queer of the year. I was the queen of the parades and, all of the things.
I think you have gotten gayer, so please just accept it.
Well, the one thing that I will say is that what I do realize is how much just showing up matters to the community. You know what I mean? So we are, not only are we a queer couple, but now we're a celebrity, forward couple.
Yeah.
Now we are Black on Black love.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It just keeps being, so many things keep being added to the moniker. And I just love that people can see themselves in us. When we were on the cover of Essence, the first queer couple to ever be on the cover in 52 years of the magazine, we got so much mail. So many people reached out, whether it was, DMs or Facebook or, where they just felt like their heads were going to pop off. They've never seen it in their lifetime. In 52 years, they've never had that.
Yeah. Gorgeous cover, by the way.
Thank you. And so I don't take it lightly that people could see themselves in the way that, and to see themselves in me, or also that for some, my relationships bring some normalcy to just loving who you love. See, because you started off with this question. They loved me before, right? 2 husbands ago. And so some people fell off the ride when I married Jessica, but more people joined the ride. And I got those people who were like, well, I liked her. Now I don't want to unlike her because of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then that makes you go look at your cousin who you was being shady to, and go look at the man you got to work with and who you was, this, that, and you know what I mean? So it normalized loving who you love for some people who's, crossed our path. And I love that.
I love that too. You just make my heart flutter. It's so wonderful to hear you speak and to hear you talk about your love. And we love to ask every guest on this show the prime question of the show. What are you high key about?
What is on your mind? It can be a person, place, thing, thought, idea, something that pisses you off, something that pisses on you. What are you high key about?
You know what I'm really high key about? I'm really high key about people minding their business.
Oh!
Mind the business that pays you.
Go off, queen.
If it's somebody and you don't like what they post, unfollow the people. If you know you gonna feel the way when you go over to your people's house for Thanksgiving, don't go. Go somewhere else where you gonna be celebrated and not tolerated. Mind your business. Mind the business that feeds your soul. Mind the business that pays your bills.
Yep.
And mind the business that keeps you emotionally satiated. And so when people like, oh, this, that, girl, I don't know. I don't even know you. Because I was somewhere minding my black business. I was somewhere.
All of my black business.
My own thing. You know what I mean? I don't need nobody to call here. I don't need no company. I don't need nothing.
Yeah.
Mind your business. Worry about yourself. And you'll be a lot better off. And I'm real high key about that.
Oh, you ate that. That might be the best HighKey we've had on this show.
I was just thinking that.
Tell them I said, if you don't have no business, get some and then mind it.
I know that's right.
And that's why I'm still here.
Niecy Nash, thank you so much for being on HighKey. Please come back all the time, anytime, whenever you want.
Thank you.
Anytime. Literally, we
Next
appreciate
time I
you
come
for
back, I'll bring JB.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would love that because what y'all don't know is JB was helping Niecy set up and had on this fine robe. I'm like, you know what? They just a fine couple. They just fine.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Niecy.
Thanks, guys.
Oh my God, what a wonderful conversation with the legend, the Niecy Nash, which I was right. I knew she was not going to consider herself a scream queen.
What do you mean you were right? You were the one who brought it up in the first place.
On the team thought she was a scream queen, and I was just like, she is not a scream queen. And you were even like, bitch, you said that. And I was like, what? So I don't feel like, I thought y'all for sure thought that she was a scream queen.
I'm sorry I threw you under the bus.
You sure did.
I was getting lonely in the afterworld. It's just me and all these little snot rocket ghosts I've been making. Look, it's my cousin.
Feel good. Which is so funny because I'm like, now is the time where we talk about our high keys of the week, and I feel like you just been really like high key sick, and so I don't even know if you have anything. But do you want me to go first, or do you want to go?
I'll just take it away because I have been high key sick, and so I high key need to bitch about something real quick, which is
do it.
When
who wanted to hear that?
When somebody is not texting you back and they publicly post like, hey y'all, I'm sick, and then they text you back, hey, I'm sick, just let them die in peace.
Actually, girl,
I went through the
same thing.
It is this season. You don't want to see me, whether it's for family love or friendship or like good dick. All you will get is some ghostly ghoul glop right now, girl. It is not good, okay? So there's that. And my actual high key is a video game. I'm just playing video games, okay?
Which honestly, I went through the same thing
Not
when
long
I was
ago.
also sick, and I wasn't responding to text messages. And a friend specifically, like playfully, but like was also dead ass, was like, but if I text you and you don't say anything, I was like, girl, I was sick. Like, what do you mean? I can't just
Yeah, girl, I gotta save all my battery for the afterlife.
Oh my God, what video game are you playing?
Okay, I'm playing Hades 2, which is the sequel to Hades 1. It's about Greek gods and stuff, which is like some of my favorite BS, and it's really good at being a video game for a sick person who doesn't want to text people back right now.
That's so real.
Ryan, what are you playing right now?
I am not high key about whatever is happening on the other side of the screen, but I love you.
No, that's not playing. What are you high key about? Sorry, the sick meds are hitting.
Oh my God. At least you're not one of those like miserable sick people who just like whine and complain. You have like energy and you're still
well, girl, now while the camera is on, when the shit cuts off, you are getting a mouthful and an earful. Like, these pieces of shit. How dare you embarrass me in front of our fans?
I'm high key about, and maybe while you're resting and getting some rest, you should be playing Khalid's new album, After the Sun Goes Down. I've always been a fan of Khalid. I think Khalid is like so cool, and his voice texture has always been really interesting.
So sexy.
And now that he is an openly queer artist, Black queer artist, doing this work, is really, really important to put a spotlight on. And I'm very, very happy that it seems like I've heard him talk about this album, and he's talked about how, like, I think his first album was American Teen, and it felt like it was like freedom in some ways, and how this album also just feels like a next chapter and level of freedom that he's experiencing now. Of course, you know, he was awfully outed. But I'm just happy that he's pushed through and created some really great music out of the experience. And I just really desperately want him on the show. I think I've seen him on other shows, and they've been great interviews, but I just think there's something to, like, seeing him around, like, other Black queer folks that I think we could just have a really great conversation about.
Hell yes, Ryan. That's a great HighKey. You desperately want Khalid on the show. I desperately want Khalid.
And I have a story about Khalid, too, when I first met him.
Is it going to make me wet?
It's not supposed to be like weird or anything, but I met him first at I was hosting a Coachella. It was like when I was doing radio, and we had a Coachella house, and he was there, and he took pictures with us. And like, I was so gay. Like, I had like a neon crop top on. I had different hair. Like, my hair was sitting up. And I just remember telling him, like, looking him in his face, being like, you know, people always say that because we had similar hairstyle, like, people always try to say that we look alike. And I just remember him looking at me, and I interpreted at the time being like, why is this faggot talking to me? But I don't think he'll ever remember that. But I just also will be like, was I like your vision board of gayness?
He was like, oh shit, wait, I could do that?
But no, I hope we one day get to have him on the show. But that's a wrap. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. Don't go anywhere next week, because we are so excited. We have a RuPaul's Drag Race sister coming on, don't we?
We do.
Yvie?
We have the Demon Queen herself, or as her new branding is gone, God's favorite transsexual, and my favorite too. It's Bosco.
Yes, it's going to be so good.
Bitch,
Stick around.
You know it's going to be good if she got banned from Twitter.
Oh, I can't wait to talk to her about it, because I'm like, girl, what were you doing? But until then, make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok at HighKey here. We're posting, we're lurking, and of course, don't forget to give us your reviews. All 5 stars, please, on the Apple Podcast. It really does make a difference. We love you very much. We'll see you next week.
We'll
Bye.
see you in the afterlife.
I can't. This might be your greatest work.
I feel like it looks like Diet Klan.
Well, it kind of does, actually, now that you bring it up.
Yeah.
I take it back. This is not your greatest work.